While we get Coach Montgomery here, I will open up for Coach Montgomery, give a short statement, and then we'll open up for questions.
Hey, good afternoon. Already been a great day because we've already had practice this morning and got good work in. Obviously, excited about the opportunity to go to the Armed Forces Bowl, play a great team in Mississippi State, and excited about the opportunity to get our guys down there. You know, this group has been special all year, and just looking for, an opportunity for those guys to really get on the field, test their mettle versus somebody different, get an opportunity to finish up our season in a way that we'd like to, and really celebrate what these guys have accomplished and what they've done all year long. So obviously it's going to be a great test. They've got an outstanding football team, obviously extremely well coached by Coach Leach and what he has done throughout his career and the multi-different programs that he's been at. So looking for a great game. Hopefully the weather will improve and get an opportunity to really play the game that we want to play.
Questions?
Coach, obviously you guys play a 3-3-5 scheme. Do you feel like that helps you in your preparations for Mississippi State?
Well, I hope so. I mean, obviously, we put this defense in with the mindset of being multiple out of it. I think we've done a good job of that over the years, whether we change up coverages, different blitz packages, try to get a lot of different people involved and at least make these quarterbacks think a little bit about what they want to do and where the ball's going to go before they can just get that pre-snap read and decide. So, hopefully it's going to show and pay dividends for us this week. But obviously I don't think there's anything that Coach Leach and his guys haven't seen defensively from that standpoint.
Kind of following up on that question too, Coach. I mean, when you watch Mississippi State on film, what kind of stands out to you? What are your impressions of them?
Well, from an offensive standpoint, as you look at them, they spread the ball around. They're just like Coach Leach always has. You're going to have multiple receivers get a ton of different catches. They're going to make you be aware of what they're going to do underneath. So they're going to dink and dunk and keep moving chains and all the crossing routes and all the things that they do so well within their offense and getting the back out and using him. And then all of a sudden you feel like you've got a good grasp of that, and then somebody slips by you and you got to eliminate those big plays. I mean, you got to do a great job on early downs, get them in long yardage type situations. And then, they're at least a little bit more predictable when it comes to that part of it. When you look at it from their defense, very multiple. I mean, they're basing out of an odd front, but they play just as much even as they do odd. They're giving you a ton of different coverages. They're twisting, they're moving, they're blitzing from different looks. They're rolling different guys into the box. And so they're being multiple. Obviously – we've had to go against a lot of that throughout the year, but they've got really talented guys doing it. They're bringing a lot of different pressure looks, and we just got to have our eyes in the right spot, be assignment sound, and have opportunities to find ways to move the football.
Coach, I asked Tanil and Corey about it, but, in the preseason when practice was delayed and, you guys needed that extra week there for Oklahoma State, did you ever kind of picture, hey, this far along, this many months later, you'll be preparing for a bowl game and the finish line kind of in sight now that it's kind of here?
I don't know that I could ever picture the finish line part because that just seems so far out there. But, coming into this year, we felt like we had a special group of young men. And, obviously you got to go out on the field, you got to prove it, and you got to make things happen. You got to go make plays. But, this group, our intent was always to be in a bowl game at this time. And these guys they've made that happen. They've worked extremely hard. They've had a lot of different bumps in the roads and different things thrown at them that they had to try to maneuver with. And they've stayed focused, they've stayed resilient, and they continue to keep answering the bell. So, yes, we did plan to be in a bowl game. Did I ever see a finish line to it? I don't know about that part.
What have those first practices been like without Zaven out there on the field? Kind of different, huh?
Yeah, it's been different. there's practices throughout the year, whether we've had guys banged up here and there and they've been out, but not participating in practice, but not having his presence around obviously is different. I think, he had an opportunity to talk to our football team and I think our guys are really good with his decision and where he's at and understand the reasonings behind his decision, and we support him and we're extremely happy for him. That being said, the standard doesn't change, and we've had guys step up all year long when guys have been out due to injury or due to the virus or whatever that has been. Guys have stepped up, and we're going to continue to do that, and I know they expect that out of each other.
Philip, it's kind of unusual that that you'll have guys playing in their last game. You may not necessarily know who those guys are in terms of the seniors, what they decide to do. Do you have a clearer picture as to what, those guys are going to do? I know Tyneil said he's leaning toward coming back and Corey's planning to move on. Do you think it'll be somewhat split?
Yeah, I think it'll be somewhat split. It's that last game is always really, really tough, for them, for us as coaches, because they're always going to be a part of this family, yet it's just going to be different. You're not going to see them every day and those type of things and get to visit with them every day. So, how many of those guys are going to come back? How many guys are going to move on? There's going to need to be a little bit of time in here to kind of figure that part of it out. The emotional part of it can kick in, and then you got to sit back and really make a good decision of what's going to be best and what your future is going to look like. The problem is you still got to make that pretty quick because, we've got to make some decisions and move from a recruiting standpoint. That wheel never stops. It's always turning. So I think it'll be kind of split, and we'll see how it kind of generates after that. But, it's kind of bittersweet, obviously, in your last game.
Philip, how huge of an opportunity is this for a Caleb and Allie to put some quality film up against a pass-heavy team like Mississippi State?
Yeah, I think not only for those two, but for our whole secondary. I mean, you're going to get – I would venture to say the ball's going to be put in the air at least 50 times this game. I don't think that's a crazy number, right? And so and it probably is going to be more than that. So you're going to get opportunity to go against a really well-coached passing team, a team that's going to push the ball to a lot of different players, and you're going to get to put that on tape. So I think that is going to obviously be a great challenge for us as we enter into this game, but it also gives us an opportunity for those guys to step up and really play at an elite level, and I think they're elite-type players. So to be in that arena and have those opportunities, I think is going to be great for those two guys as well as everybody else in the secondary.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about what it's been like to have Zaven in practice on the field and how he kind of embodies an All-American?
Well, Zaven's one of those kids that has just done it the right way. He's done it on the field, off the field. He's been humble throughout this. He'd be the first one to talk about his teammates and what they do and allow him to be able to make the plays and do the things that he's been able to do. He makes everybody around him better. He would also tell you the guys around him made him better and pushed him. So when you start talking about an All-American or you start talking about a guy that has been voted the best defensive player in college football, he is those things. He's done it in the run game. He's done it rushing the passer. He's done it in the passing game. He's made big plays at big times. Those are what you're looking for, and he's been consistent with that all year long.
What kind of legacy does he leave behind at CU?
Well, I don't know. I may leave that up to the historians, but I mean, we've had some really, really good football players come through this program. Some Hall of Famers that have come through this program. But history will tell what Zaven's career is going to be at the next level. But I can tell you, at least here, he's a Hall of Famer in our book, and he'll be on our Hall of Fame before too long because of the way he's played, the way he has lifted up his teammates, and the way he has represented not only our university but our city and our program.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, the conference that we're in, you know, we always talk about Power Six. You're getting the chance to face a team that is a Power Five. Obviously, the record is down, but you know what Mike Leach goes, you know, clear back to days when you were at Baylor and he was at Oklahoma and whatnot. Just how significant is this game for you guys if you're able to win this just for the conference as a whole, as well as springboarding you guys into recruiting and moving forward?
Well, I think it'll be huge for the conference. I think it'll be huge for our program. You know, anytime you get an opportunity to go head-to-head with such a quality team like this from a recruiting standpoint, it's the last game of the year, so that's the last impression that you're going to get to make. And I think all of those things pay dividends. You know, we're excited to have such a great opponent. You know, our guys are looking forward to that part of it. You know, I'm sure everybody will pick Mississippi State, and that won't be any different than just about every other game we've played this year. So, you know, for us, our guys are always battling. They're always hungry. They play with a chip on their shoulder, and we've been the underdog for a long time. That part doesn't change. So for us, we're going to step on the field. We're going to fight for 60 minutes. Our guys have always done that. And until that last second ticks off the clock, we'll battle.
What is your overall relationship with Coach Leach?
Oh, we've had a friendly relationship. Obviously, I've had opportunities to sit down and visit with him throughout the years. You know, he's great to sit and visit with and be able to pick his brain and just listen to him tell stories and all of that part of it. You know, I look forward to those opportunities when we get a chance to do that. Obviously, he's been in the Pac-12 for the last several years, so you know, our paths haven't crossed as much. I know quite a few of the guys that are on his staff and have relationships that lead way back 15 or 20 years with those guys. So, you know, I look forward to seeing him and you know, catching up a little bit, but that's about it.
I guess what's keeping you up at night with Mississippi State, is it that air raid offense or is it their style of defense? I mean, what's making you think? All of it?
I mean, obviously offensively, you know, they get into a rhythm and you got to be really, really careful. I mean, you watch what, you know, they started off the year and they beat the defending national champion in LSU. And then a little bit later on in the year, you know, they go up to Missouri, who's a really good football team as well, and really just jumped on them in a hurry. And so you've got to eliminate those big plays, and you got to do a good job of keeping things in front of you and tackling well when you get in space. And, you know, from that standpoint, there's nothing that you're going to show him that he hasn't seen. You know, he's going to have answers to it. Now, you just got to do a great job of keeping them off balance a little bit and keeping pressure on them from that standpoint. And then as you look at them from a defensive standpoint, offensively from our side, you know, they're so multiple in what they do, and they give you some crazy looks that sometimes you're looking at like, you know, why would they even be doing that? And then all of a sudden everybody's moving and changing. Same thing in the secondary part of it. So we got to do a really good job of just having our eyes in the right spot, being assignment sound, communicating up front, and making sure that we're not just turning guys loose here and there because of something funky that they're doing from a defensive stance.
You guys played pretty well in the rain in Cincinnati, and yeah, as you said in the opening statement, that weather could be a factor again. Will that slow down this air raid offense? I mean, is that an advantage for you guys, you think?
You know, I don't think either of us want to play in bad weather, right? You know, I don't know if it really hurts them or not. I don't even know if they played in any true rain games this year. You know, we've had our fair share of them. I know as you look at them, they're tough to run the football against. I mean, they're an SEC defense. They got big guys up front. Their linebackers are big. They come downhill and they fit, and they will hit you. So, you know, you got to find some ways to run the football. You've got to find some explosive plays in the passing game. You got to be able to generate some yardage there. Whether it affects one or both of us more, I mean, I have no clue. We'll have to wait and see how they play it out. I know we played in the weather probably a little bit more than they have.
Anything else for Coach Montgomery? All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.